The sky has always held a certain mystique in ancient mythologies, often personified as a supreme deity presiding over the entire cosmos. In the ancient world, such sky gods were often considered the supreme rulers, embodying not just the sky, but the very order of the universe. Among these deities, Anu, the Sumerian god of the sky, stands out as a prime example. Anu was revered as the highest god in the Mesopotamian pantheon, often considered the ancestor of all other gods, and the ultimate authority in the cosmos. His influence stretched across various mythologies, including Sumerian, Akkadian, and Hittite, where his story intertwined with those of other gods and mortals. Anu was the father of the Anunnaki, a group of powerful deities who played significant roles in the Mesopotamian religion. The term Anunnaki itself means offspring of Anu, signifying their direct descent from this supreme sky god. Anu's importance in Mesopotamian religion is underscored by the fact that he was considered the source of all authority, both divine and mortal. Kings and rulers often claimed their right to rule by invoking Anu's name, emphasizing his role as the ultimate arbiter of power. In the Sumerian pantheon, Anu was part of a divine triad, along with his sons Enlil and Enki. This triad represented the three bands of constellations in the sky, symbolizing the cosmic order that Anu presided over. Enlil, the god of wind, air, and earth, was often more venerated by the people than his father, but Anu remained the supreme god, the divine father of all other deities. His authority was so vast that the highest deity in the pantheon was said to possess the Anutu, or heavenly power, named after Anu himself. Despite his paramount status, Anu's role in mythology, hymns, and cult practices was relatively small, and much of the details surrounding his worship have been lost to history. However, his influence was profound. For instance, Sargon the Great of Akkad, one of the earliest known rulers of the Akkadian Empire, mentioned Anu in his inscriptions, attributing his military successes to the god's favor. This suggests that Anu was highly revered by kings, who saw him as the divine force legitimizing their rule. Anu's primary cult center was the Eanna Temple in the city of Uruk, one of the most important religious sites in ancient Mesopotamia. However, by the time of the Akkadian period, much of his authority in Uruk had been ceded to the goddess Inanna, also known as Ishtar, the Queen of Heaven. Inanna's rise to prominence reflects a broader shift in the religious landscape, where newer gods often eclipsed older ones. Nevertheless, Anu remained a significant figure, particularly as the progenitor of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki themselves were central to many myths and beliefs across Sumerian, Akkadian, Assyrian, and Babylonian traditions. While their roles and attributes varied, they were often depicted as powerful deities who decreed the fates of mankind. In some traditions, the Anunnaki were even believed to have created humans, supposedly to serve as laborers for mining gold, a resource they needed to sustain their own existence. One of the most famous myths involving Anu is the Akkadian Epic of Gilgamesh, where he plays a crucial role in the narrative. In the story, Anu's daughter Ishtar attempts to seduce the hero Gilgamesh. When Gilgamesh rejects her advances, Ishtar, enraged, demands that her father Anu give her the Bull of Heaven to punish Gilgamesh. Anu initially hesitates, but Ishtar threatens to release the dead from the underworld if he refuses her request. Anu, unwilling to risk such chaos, grants her the bull, which leads to a confrontation between Gilgamesh and the creature, ultimately resulting in the death of Gilgamesh's companion, Enkidu. Anu's role as a divine father is also evident in the myth of Adapa, a mortal priest who, through a series of events, comes into contact with Anu. In this story, Adapa breaks the wing of the south wind, prompting Anu to summon him to heaven for an explanation. Impressed by Adapa's wisdom and honesty, Anu offers him the food and water of immortality. However, Adapa, having been warned by Enki, another son of Anu, that these offerings were deadly, refuses them. Anu, surprised by Adapa's refusal, ultimately sends him back to Earth. thereby denying him immortality. This story has been compared to the biblical narrative of Adam and Eve, where Adam is also denied immortality after disobeying a divine command. In another significant narrative from Hittite mythology, Anu is depicted as a former ruler of the gods, who is overthrown by his son Kumarbi. The myth recounts how Kumarbi bites off Anu's genitals and swallows them, leading to the birth of the storm god Teshub. Teshub eventually overthrows Kumarbi, avenging his father Anu and becoming the new king of the gods. This story bears striking similarities to the Greek myth of Uranus and Cronus, where Cronus overthrows his father Uranus in a similar act of mutilation, only to be later overthrown by his own son, Zeus. The Sumerians believed that rain was Anu's seed, which impregnated the earth goddess Kai, later known as Antu in Akkadian mythology, leading to the birth of vegetation. This association with fertility and creation further underscores Anu's role as a life-giving force. However, Anu was also seen as a god who could bring destruction. In the epic poem Era and Ishum, written in Akkadian in the 8th century BCE, Anu gives the god of destruction, Era, a group of personified weapons known as the Sebetu. When humanity becomes too noisy and populous, Anu instructs Era to use the Sebetu to reduce their numbers, demonstrating his capacity for both creation and destruction. Anu's legacy extended beyond Mesopotamia, influencing other cultures and their mythologies. In Hittite mythology, as mentioned earlier, Anu's story of overthrow and castration laid the groundwork for similar narratives in Greek mythology, particularly the story of Uranus and Cronus. These parallels highlight the common themes that run through ancient mythologies. The cycle of power, where a son overthrows his father, only to face the same fate from his own offspring. The mythological importance of Anu is further emphasized by his connection to the cosmos. In Sumerian cosmogony, the heavens were divided into 3 domes, with the highest and outermost dome representing Anu. This dome was believed to be made of reddish stone, symbolizing the vastness and grandeur of the sky. Outside this dome lay the primordial waters of Namu, the mother of Anu, reinforcing the idea that Anu was born from the primordial chaos that existed before the ordered universe. Anu's influence also extended into literature and poetry, as seen in the Sumerian poem Inanna and Ebi, where his granddaughter Inanna confronts a mountain deity. Despite Anu's warning, Inanna destroys the mountain, demonstrating her power and defiance. In another poem, Inanna takes command of heaven. Inanna's ambition leads her to take control of the Eanna temple in Uruk, which had once been dedicated to Anu. This story symbolizes the transfer of power from Anu to the younger generation of gods, particularly Inanna, who was one of the most venerated deities in Mesopotamia. Anu's role as the divine personification of the sky and the supreme god of the Mesopotamian pantheon is a testament to the significance of sky deities in ancient religions. Although later traditions saw him somewhat overshadowed by his sons Enlil and Enki, Anu's legacy as the ancestor of the Anunnaki and the ultimate source of authority for both gods and mortals remained deeply influential throughout Mesopotamian history. His stories, whether from Sumerian, Akkadian, or Hittite mythology, reveal the complex and multifaceted nature of ancient gods, beings who could be both creators and destroyers, benefactors and punishers. Anu's enduring presence in these myths highlights the timeless appeal of the sky as a symbol of divine power and cosmic order. Ultimately, Anu's story is a powerful reminder of the enduring influence of the sky in the ancient imagination, a symbol of divine authority that shaped the beliefs and myths of entire civilizations. Through themes of creation and destruction, order and chaos, Anu's presence in mythology continues to captivate, serving as a testament to the sky's timeless allure as the ultimate symbol of power. In ancient Mesopotamian culture, Anu is a reminder of the sky's role as the ultimate seat of divine power, a distant and mysterious realm that holds the key to the very essence of life itself. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an adventure with us.